Hi guys, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily and it is the 6th of April and you're very welcome here for a bit of a Stitchy catch up. I've stitched on, I think I have 4 things to show you today. 3, 4, yes, I've got 4 projects to show you, and I've mostly, I'll be honest, mostly this week I've only stitched on my Mini Autumn's Promise, which I'm going to attempt to get finished this month. I'll tell you right now it might not happen because next week, this time next week, I'm heading down to see my eldest daughter who is at university. I have got my day off, 3 days holiday booked, and then my day off the other end. So I'm actually off work for 5 days, day off each end and 3 days in the middle. So Maddie and I are going to I'm going to go down to Cambridge and visit with her. And probably on the Saturday we're going to go into London, which is quite exciting because I haven't been into London since Maddie was, I think, about 18 months old, which was the first night I ever left her with my parents. So it's been 18 years, 18 and a bit more years since I've been down to London. So, but she's not far from Cambridge, is not far at all. It's just a quick two-leg journey into town. So we're going to do that on Saturday, so I'm assuming I've got 2 5-hour plus car drives either side, and the whole of that day will be lost, and I need to make her something along the lines of a ball gown and seagulls. For the first time in forever, there's seagulls circling. We are not by the sea. I am not by the sea where I am right now. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so next week my stitching is going to have a bit of a over the back end of the week, and then it probably won't pick up again until probably Wednesday. So between this Flosstube, next Flosstube should be normal, and then the Flosstube after that I'll probably be like, oh, I've got some lovely pictures here, but I haven't got a lot of stitching to show you. So sometimes it goes like that, doesn't it? So my Mini Autumn's Promise, which I'm going to try and get done, I have actually put in most of my stitches this week. I put in just under 5,000 stitches last week into it, which yesterday, which is when I do my figures from, left it sitting at 60.39%. Now last week it was at, let me find it. Last week I'd already picked it up and started it. It was at 49% last week, so it's at 60, well, I've stitched on it today, it's at 61%. So I'm doing, that's been like 11, 12, it's been 12% this week. So 3 more weeks at 12%, 10, 20, 30, that's 60, 70, 80, 90. It is going to be close, but I am going to lose stitches. I'm definitely going to lose some stitches on it. So we'll see how I get on. Either way, I've got to do my treasure hunt bookshelf. So if I have to sacrifice stitching on this to catch up on my treasure hunt bookshelf, I totally will. Because to me that's my perma goal. Right, so let me show you my Mini Autumn's Promise. It's coming along really well actually. Right, last week it looked like this, and this week it looks like this. As you can see, this top corner was already finished. I've come down, I think the bottom corner here was in last week. I've now got the bottom corner in here. And what I'm doing is I'm colour completing. So I colour completed the 932, which was quite a lot of stitches of 932. I've also gone in and colour completed quite a lot of the colours up here. This is still outstanding over here. But as you can see, with the light behind it, you can clearly see where the stitching and the non-stitching is. That's actually quite a good representation, because if I put light behind it, it would be much harder to see where the white is and isn't. So with the light behind, you can see how much more I've got left to go, and it isn't that much, and it's not that much different changes of colour. So this bit here is now complete. Oh my god, it's so dirty. I thought there was a gap there, but that's actually a white stitch that I've gone in and put in later onto the dirty stitching. Oh my goodness, it's so filthy. When this has been through the washing machine, it will not look like this. Even the Ada's filthy there. Filthy, dirty, wet cat came and sat on it. So I've been kind of, to chivvy myself along, I've been playing a game with this. So, my original colour completion docket with the under 500 stitches, anything in pink I've done since I picked it back up, and then there was 500 to 1,000 stitches left to go and over 1,000. So I've done 3 of the colours that had over 1,000 stitches, and 3799 I finished last night. So I have a fair few colours left to go. And then last night, the game I played last night, 2 colours I couldn't got. How have I still got colours I've not got? I can't find. So when I was at work on an order pad, when I was having a little breather, I pulled it up, and the colours that I had gaps on these leaves here, these 2 leaves are absolutely, oh, I've still got a tiny wee gap up here. That was a colour I was actually missing from my box. So I wrote down all the colours and how many stitches I had left of those, and then last night I just pulled the colours and did each one in turn, apart from 3773 and 3860, which I know I've got 3860, can't find it, I assume it's fallen somewhere, and 3773 is like permanently missing. I don't know if I've ever owned one. But at the moment all I'm doing is banging in stitches of 3753, and I've still got 1755 stitches of 3753 to go, so it's really easy. I can go out, I can bring this with me, and I can bring one skein. It's no point me putting that on a bobbin because I'm going to be using pretty much all of that, because I'm using it's 18 count over 2, so I'll probably use up most of that skein to put in those stitches. So there's no point me bobbinating it. I just picked up a spare skein and brought it with me. My proper one's still in the master set. I've got lots of doubles, but I've got lots of ones that don't have. So I'm just going to keep on chugging on, and I'll do a big chunk, and then I'll pick up some colours where I need to do just a few stitches here and there, and there's 6 here and 3 there, and then spots, bits, bats, bat down there, and then a couple over here, and then the colour's done. So I'm doing a few of those and big chunks. So hopefully next week we'll be 73, 74% maybe, if I pull my finger out a bit. Hopefully. So mini autumn's promise, I'm going to do my best. So when I get little breaks at work, which is now and then, and I did quite a chunk last night actually. Last night I thought I better get a move on with my Buffy threads kit of the 12 days of Christmas. It looked like this in my video last week. I'm working on number 3, 3 French hens, which was meant to be finished in March. It's still not done. But he now looks like that. There is a chicken turning up, a French hen is turning up there. So, as you can see, I am stitching down to where my paper is folded, but I only have 24 stitches to go from there down. But you can see I've still got a chunk of that. So that sits on those 2 needle minders there, and I just pull a thread. I've actually got one parked because I got to the bottom of where my line was of the fold, just so it's not all hanging over and big. I can just keep this outside on the chair, and if I go and sit outside to catch my breath, I put in 5 or 6 stitches. I don't get more than, I'm going to say conservatively, on a very long shift like I did on Tuesday, I'll maybe do 50 stitches. It's nothing, you know, it's not like I'm sitting there for hours. Because I generally do about 300 stitches an hour if I'm concentrating and doing, you know, changing colour a couple of times. It's more if I'm stitching in just one colour, but I rarely stitch in just one colour because I stitch big heights. Right, stitching in just one colour, I picked up my Pilgrim. Now, you might remember, if you've been with me a while, that when I got to page 7 was missing. I couldn't find page 7. Oddly enough, the only page I can now find is page 7, which I finished, which is no good at all. So, I live in a hoarder's house, hence why I'm doing my Flosstubes in a different house now. I don't live here. I come here and do my Flosstubes, and I visit sometimes. But it's a lovely place for me to do my videos. So, there we go. Anyway, I took my bedroom, which looks like a YouTube hoarders program my bedroom looks like, because all my craft stuff is just like stored. I churned. The technical term of a hoard is churning, when you look for one thing specifically. And I was looking for 4 pieces of paper. I checked everything, literally to the floorboards. Those 4 pieces of paper I have put somewhere safe. Yeah, they've gone. So, much against my will, I rebought the pattern and downloaded it onto Pattern Keeper. Bloody brilliant. Took me 10 minutes to mark off what I'd done, because you can highlight all the stitches in this page. Done, done, done. 8 of those. Bottom 4 pages to go. It's so when I downloaded the pattern, it was sitting at about 67%. So yes, I've got 4 pages left, but it was only at 67%. So then I realised that I haven't done all the backstitch. I've done some of the backstitch and some of it I've left. Now, as I finished, what I do if I've got a paper pattern, and I generally don't make working copies. I have of the Buffy threads because it was all on different bits of paper. So I've just done each one and sellotaped it all together so that each individual number is on one square. But normally I don't make working copies. If I get a paper pattern, I'm using that paper pattern because I've bought it and I'm only going to stitch it once, you know? So I've thrown away. I scrumple when I finish a page and I hoy it. So accidentally, not realising, I've thrown away paper pattern pages, because I bought this before Pattern Keeper existed, before we knew about Pattern Keeper, because it hadn't come out. I think I've been stitching this since 2018, or last leap year I started it. 2020 might have been, yes. I was working on it before lockdown. It would have been February 2020 then, wouldn't it? Because I started it long dog leap day sale, so leap year must be next year, and it was a 4-year. Let's see if we can finish them before the next leap year. It's a hashtag on Instagram. Martini Stitcher started it. I'm 4 pages off. I'll probably get it done. Anyway, yeah. So I had a paper copy, so I now have it as a PDF download, and it's nice and easy to use. And now I have a PDF copy. I can go back and do the back stitch when I'm done. So realistically, I would have finished the cross stitches and then been insanely cross that I had to buy the pattern. And it's an expensive one. It's an expensive long dog. It's a £20 long dog. Some of the long dogs are 11, 12. Some of them are 29. So it's one of the more expensive. It's a huge pattern. It's wonderful. I have had to buy it twice because I bought it in paper pattern from Arts and Designs. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I can carry on and I really want to get this done. So since I rebought the pattern, I have done 835 stitches plus what I've done today. That was, see, my numbers run to yesterday. So I've done 835 and I've done about 1,000 stitches all in. I've done 139 today. So I'm on page 8 and I've done a horse's head. So since I picked it up, I've done the horse's head, I've done this bit of the neck, I've come from there down, the line was across there. So I've done these bits here, down to there, and I've done horsey head, and I'm heading to the bottom, which I think is going to be about there. So it's going to easily fit onto this piece of fabric. There's the bottom of my fabric. And that is the colour it is. I often show this, I photograph it, it looks terrible. It always looks washed out and awful. This really is this colour. It is glorious. This is Mrs. Sada's silk. It's darling colourway. I have got little scraps of this everywhere. This is the colour my darling is. It is glorious. Absolutely glorious. And if you photograph it, it looks pale and pasty and rubbish. And my fabric is. As you can see, it was meant to be flat. It was meant to be flat purple, but as you can see, I was rubbish at dyeing back then. And it's mottled, but not in a good way. But the pattern is so busy and so coveragey, you can't see that I messed it up and mottled it. Here we go. Here's the top bits. What's that? Oh, I've got part threads all along the bottom. Where I got to the bottom of my pages, I just part the threads. So there's a very busy section there. So 4 pages left, 4 pages minus a horse's head and 3 leaves and a bit of neck. So that is just, it's heavenly joy to stitch on this. I can't explain how joyful it is to stitch a single thread. I'm not really colour controlling. What I am doing is, if it's a long skinny piece like that, I'm doing it up and down so that the lines go up and down. And like round his eye there, can you see I've stitched round to try and get the contour of the colour change? If there is a colour change, I've tried to get the colour change to contour. That's the only colour controlling I'm doing. I didn't do any at all at the beginning, and some of it is very stripy. Like here, look, that bird's head is green, his body's blue. If I'd have thought about that for more than 10 seconds, by the time I did this bloody raven, who was an absolute nightmare of solid stitching, you can see what I mean. I've contoured that round the motif, round his medallion. I've contoured that. But there is a flamingo that's stripy in a not such a good way, and the ass of the rat is bright green and the rest of him's blue. So I'm not colour controlling. I'm not cutting it into this is turquoise, this is green, this is mint. I'm just basically going with it because that's kind of how I was stitching back then. This is one of my, these two are possibly my oldest whips. I have one older, I have an older one. Shores of Hawkrun Hollow is older. I do need to do a block on that this year. And I need to do a block on my Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow as well, which I completely forgot about. I'll do a block on Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow in October, for definite. So, shown you my Pilgrim, shown you Mini Autumn's Promise, shown you my Buffy threads. Now, for Treasure Hunt Bookshelf for April, I have equally, in a different break at work on a different day, I got another piece of paper from the same pad, the one in the kitchen, and I basically pulled colours from along the top that have got a predominantly large amount of colour to fill in, because I want to travel. I don't want to do like complete blocks. I want to meander and travel along the top, but I'm up in the sky. So I've written a list of the colours. Obviously, 2 of them, 3860, again, same colour, still missing. 3727, not the one I'm missing there. No, so I need to buy 3. I'll pick 3 up. I get them from Hobbycraft. I know I'm paying £1.30 for them, which is a lot, but I only need 3. And if I order them from anywhere else, if I order through DMC, I'm paying postage, so I may as well go and get them from Hobbycraft because it's a 6-minute drive from my work. So I did that, and I then pulled but this is, ignore these here, this is the new normal. This is my colour palette for the new normal. Yeah, that's my colour palette for new normal. So these here, and the white, and the, no, 3753, that's Mini Autumn's Promise. So I've got Blanc in there, because I'm not doing the Krynic, I'm doing it white. I made that decision right at the beginning that I would do my Krynic white. I just prefer it. Because over 1 the Krynic sits proud, and I just prefer to do white. That's personal preference. Anyway, so I'm going to use these colours in April. So I've got them with me, so I don't need to bring my master set out. That's all I'm lugging around, so I can bring my Treasure Hunt bookshelf and I can work on it with the colours. Now, last week I showed you this bit down here that I had done to finish off my 11%. So I might be able to show you a zoomed in bit of this bit I should have taken a picture when I put the Q-snap on. I didn't. So this is the screenshot from my last video, and it might be blurry because I might have kind of cropped it to be this shape. Oh, I need to see this one. I need to put the fabric behind. Right. So here, what have I done? I filled in a few stitches around here, and I'm going this way, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm meandering, and I'm heading west for top left corner is where I'm heading. So I'm meandering that way, and I've not done massive doodle amount. I have done a good chunk today. So up until yesterday I've done 195 stitches. Today I've done a good chunk, and I've done 700 stitches a day. It's now at 11.13, so I've still got 0.87 to go for the month. So a really good chunk, and I should be able to hopefully by next week I'll have moved the Q-snap and we'll be maybe about here with a thin ribbony splotchy band. The idea is that by the end of May I've got to the other corner, which is there, in a kind of meandery band, and I've got that corner. What I'd like to do by the end of May is get to this corner, and I will fill that block. I will fill that top left block. Done. If I get there, which I'm sure I will. But I'm not going to just do like 3 stitches, move, 3 stitches, move, you know, 1 there, 6 there, move it along. Oh look, I'm in the corner. It'll be probably as filled in as this. So a few gaps, say this bit here, it'll probably be as filled in as that. So some of it will be filled in because it was 3 colours that are in the box, and some of it will be just like a linking across. Now it is gridded fabric, so I shouldn't go wrong. You watch me go wrong. I shouldn't go wrong. That doesn't mean I won't. And with the aim that from then on, if I fancy stitching the thing that's there, I've got some stitches in place that I can easily use to stitch down from. And that just gives me options to not be stitching permanently from this corner. Oh my god, it looks so good. Check it out. 11%. Oh my word. I can't wait. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah, there's still gaps. There's gaps at the bottom of here, and there's gaps here. So I think I'm fully filled to there and about there. And then that bit down there, there's gaps. I gave up on that. That was driving me bananas. I'll go back. I'll have months where I can easily go back. Yes, Sid. This is Sid. As you can see from the size of my head, which is small, to Sid's head, which is huge. Sid's a very large cat. You're a big bloke, aren't you? He's a big bloke. He's a funny lad. Anyway, so there is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. Chogging on. A long way to go. I'm only at 0.13, so I've got a long way to go. And that's it. Thank you to my giveaway. Oh, I'm trying to say competition and it wasn't. It was giveaway last week, winners. You've all got in touch with me. I will post to you when I get round to it. Please bear with me. I am notoriously crap at posting. My will is there. My want is there. My execution, rubbish. I will do my best. Honestly, I'm so rubbish. I've got them. They're in my project bag at home. I've got them. They're catching my eye. It's a project bag I take to work. So all I need to do is get 3 envelopes, 3 little things to put them on, and marry them up and put stickers on and be done. Take them to the post office. Let's see how long it takes me to do it. I am filling my Etsy shop. I am got a new car I need to pay for. So not new to me. My little. Oh, I can show you a little picture because I took a picture of it today. I got it new wheel trims because the wheel trims that were on it were really horrible and not made for the car, as I found when I've already shed 2 of them, and then I went to take off the 2 and you literally, I just touched them and they came off in my hands. Whereas the ones that I put on, I had to manipulate with force, so they're not coming off anytime soon. So my new baby car, it's glorious. It's powder blue, but we love it. Lizzie loves it. It's going to be hers. Lizzie loves it, and it's so cute. It's just so cute, and it's absolute blast to drive. Now I've woken it up. When I first got it, it was I don't think it's been used for a while, and it was a little unsure that it wanted to go properly fast. Considering I'm a very unconfident person now, might come across in my videos, I have got used. I have done several hundred probably, because I've done 3 Flossmasses, so there's 100 videos there. I've probably done nearly 200 videos now. I am used to talking to myself to camera and looking at myself and listening to myself and editing. I've got a lot better at this. And you know me, I like to do my videos in a one-er. I insert pictures. If I have to insert more than pictures, I get a bit crazy. I mean, I had to chop a whole bit out last week because I was staring at my phone going, why won't this work? This is rubbish. And I was like, I can't leave that in. You'd have just been like, what is she? That's just crap. So you did have a jump in it last week, but I try not to do it. I try to just go with it. So, yes. In real life, I'm not super confident. I am, however, a very confident driver. I'm not going to say aggressive. I'm not aggressive. I am confident. I know how fast my car goes. I know how manoeuvrable it is. I know how big it is. My car is tiny, but I know its size. If I see a gap I can get through, I will get through it because I can fit. I don't go, oh my god, I can't drive a double-decker bus through that gap. Like, my car fits through that. Excuse me, I'm just going to get through there and off I go, you know. So it was a bit unsure that it was okay to go fast, but I've woken it up. It's now like I get in and it goes, oh, let's go. This little car, like it doesn't even have a litre engine. It's got a 3-cylinder 996, I think it is. It's not even a whole full litre, which is why it's so good on its fuel economy, because there's no engine. But it's tiny. It's got a wheel in each corner, and it is very manoeuvrable. They're insane good fun. Tiny little manoeuvrable cars are really good fun. Anyway, I got it some new wheel trims, so there's a picture of it. And yeah, I will be listing some the stuff Lizzie's been making, because she's going to obviously help pay for the car. So the stuff she's made is mostly the lovely little scissor fobs. She's got really into making scissor fobs. She's also doing things set in resin now in like a dingle dangle, like necklace things, but she's putting them on the end of needle, not the end of a needle minder, a scissor fob and things like that. So some of the stuff Lizzie's made, some of the stuff I've made, and I'll be doing a listing. I also found a whole load of thread drops, which I will also list. They're the only ones I've got. They might be the only ones I'll ever have, because Robin has moved on from woodworking to other things now, so I don't know if we'll ever be able to get him back making thread drops again. So they might be the last of the era, and they are wonderful, and I suppose I could find out how to do it, because you know I'm quite capable, but I've got 0 time, and the time I have got, I really want to be stitching. Anyway, right guys, I will wrap this up for now. We're nearly at half an hour. I'm not too sure how. It's actually 20 to 8 at night. I've had to wait because the sun, I didn't know. I'm very disorientated here. My own house faces north-south, so I know exactly where the sun is at all times. This house really confuses me because I have no freaking idea which way it faces. Only the sun, I suppose that way must be west, because it came up over the conservatory and was streaming in. You can see that's where it's still really light. And I was like, I can't do my video in this. So I've had to wait until it's got a little bit darker. And the sun's actually gone behind that house just there. So the light was better. Right guys, I will see you next Thursday. I should be here as normal, and then the week after that I should be here as normal, but it'll be, I'm really sorry, I haven't got a lot of stitching done, but here's the fun Maddie and I had. At least I hope it will be, because I hope we'll have loads of fun, and it's just a little break to go and see her, because she opted to stay. She opted to stay at university. She didn't want to come home. She was hoping to get a lot of work done, but we'll see how much work she's got done. But she bought her room for the year, so At least she's using it. Anyway, guys, I will see you next week. Hopefully, good Stitchy week coming up. And let's see how we go. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.